Hi guys, thank you so much for clicking on this video. You're welcome. My name is Rita and I am commonly known as the cooking nurse. And today I have a friend, Asinia. Let me welcome her and let her introduce herself. Hi Doc.
Hi Rita, how are you?
I'm good. You're my boss.
I'm not your boss.
Not here,
No,
but
but you're
like,
my boss also here.
yeah, here. But on the word, you're the boss.
That's nice.
Anyways, let us you allow us know you.
I'm Dr. Nyamurungyi. Nowadays people call me Dr. T. I find that interesting. But yes, Dr.
Dr. T is an
Nyamurungyi.
artist.
Yeah, right? It sounds like, I feel like there's an artist called
Yeah.
Dr. T. Oh my
He's
God.
there.
That's why I find it disturbing by now. That's why I find it disturbing.
Dr.
But
T,
yes.
but it sounds cool.
Oh God, I am Nyamurungyi. I'm a medical doctor in Kampala, Uganda. Yes, that is me.
Okay, so doctor asked me something earlier on, and we're like, okay, when we sit down in front of the camera, she will go on ahead and ask, and I'll be able to answer. So
Yeah.
let's go on.
So I had been wondering, why did you leave us? Why did you leave the field of medicine and healthcare and you came to social media? And why social media? But also, why did you leave us, most particularly?
Being more precise, it's the money, babes. It's the money. Yeah. I really love caring for people. I think it's in my nature that I always want to care for people, but I also don't like seeing people who are suffering. And the hospitals I trained in, or the ones I got a chance to work in, most of the people who were coming were like really, really suffering. And I didn't even have the funds to say, this person needs to be transferred maybe to a bigger hospital. Let me help, since the family cannot. So you just keep on administering medicine until until they give up to, or you also, maybe they even pack. So the money also was not coming through. I come from a very humble background, not extremely humble, but we could use a push. So if I am going to be able to change the lineage, I cannot be earning $100 a month, working almost
Almost every day.
So I was like, what is the other option that is there? Because I'm not exactly so educated to say that I went to like maybe bigger schools. I have connections and I can easily go
But
to.
do those connections from bigger schools really work?
I don't know, but yes, I have seen people get jobs because they went to Ntare. Sorry
Really?
to say, yeah. Whether they qualify or not, I've seen people get jobs because they were OBs with the MD from bigger schools. So anyway, from that time, that was my perspective. I did not have that kind of belief that even me, myself, I have a stand and I can just go and say, but even if I wanted to go abroad, how people used to say that abroad there's money in nursing, where was I going to get money for the ticket? Leave alone. The only place there was for me was marketing, media. With numbers, something I learned earlier on was numbers can translate into cash.
Yeah.
So the more people I had knowing me, the easier it would have been for me to sell to them. So I did everything. I did modeling, bros, everything. And then I finally decided, you know what? Let me cook. Let me go online and cook. I had listened to a lot of online success stories.
Yeah.
I saw a video of Patricia Bright where she was showing us her YouTube revenue graph, and she had made $1 million on YouTube in 1 year. And I was like, okay, she's American, I'm Ugandan.
What I know.
So that's how I ended up sharing my content. Then lockdown came, and I was like, okay, let's take this on another level. Started a YouTube channel, started posting on Instagram. Now these other smaller, okay, not small, but bigger platforms that are not YouTube do not pay us in Africa,
Yeah.
but they can drive traffic. And also those numbers can easily translate as opposed to YouTube. So yeah, I think I just decided, let me find the easy way out, which was not exactly so easy, but I'm also not a lazy person. So yeah.
Well done. And also
Thank you.
the fact that when you say that you left nursing because you didn't want to see people suffer and you do nothing about it, makes it very interesting for you to translate into cooking.
Yeah.
Because cooking, you literally make people happy when you cook.
I think so. And I also feel like we do the same job, wear the same uniform, and just administering drugs differently.
Yeah.
Because there's a time I used to work on the diabetic clinic, and it would make me sad, really sad, because In class, they taught us nutrition. They taught us everything we needed to eat for our bodies to be good. But like at 27, coming in pre-diabetic, why? You have all the food at home, you have the knowledge, you have the understanding, and you come in and we are still going to give you medicine for like a whole month.
Very
And
true.
once it's done, you refill. Instead of teaching you how to eat and reverse, the condition, which was not something that was allowed. So when I was starting to cook, I said, okay, in fact, I told Daphne I was going to teach rich people's wives.
But you are now.
Yeah, now I am.
See?
But I was like, I'm going to teach these rich people's wives because those guys feel like we come from a generation which associated actual food with suffering. So when we grew, snacks and unhealthy foods and all these fast things became the norm.
Right.
So because you have the money, you can easily, eat fried chicken the whole week. That's cool to you. And I felt like us, the poor ones, we did not have that leverage of eating on the junk because even if we wanted to so bad, it would be like once a month. But these guys had the money and were also wasting the money.
Yeah.
So in my head, I thought I was going to teach these guys how to live healthy, cook good food at home, which was local. And at least even if we eat junk, let it be like once a month. Not every day, every day, every day. Yeah, and I think I'm finally doing it.
But you're doing it. I think you really do. Do you know there's videos of yours that I have gotten, and I'm just always like, you know what? One time I'm going to come for a full masterclass just to do this, because the truth is, that the truth is, like for example, like what you said.
Yeah.
When it comes to lifestyle diseases, most of the times, like we get patients who are sick. For example, you find someone who comes and they're pre-diabetic, or they're even fully diabetic, or they're pre-hypertensive. So the first thing that we tend to tell people about is to do lifestyle modification.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, you will tell someone, I'm going to give you this 2 weeks, first go and change the way you do. Get them in touch with a clinical nutritionist. Let them guide you and help you. But someone never comes back. By the time they come back, they're probably having a very bad complication. And now you really can't, not have to give them medication. But I completely, agree with that and understand. And I think that's one thing, how... for example, it's so funny. And by the one thing that I think that as Africans, we have gotten a lot of brainwashing. A lot of brainwashing in that we don't even know who we are, in that even our gifts that God gave us as us, we just rubbish them.
Yeah.
Now,
they are never cool enough.
They're not cool enough. For example, let me give you an example. First of all, begin from identity. My names. My names are fully African names.
Yeah.
Like T.Nyamurungyi, Nyamurungyi are my names. But every time I tell someone my names, from way back.
Even me, I asked, what's your English name?
Not even English. Someone tells me English name, I don't mind. But where is your Christian name?
Your Christian name,
The fact that we have associated Christianity to be English. In that
it's foreign.
It's foreign. And for you as black people, for you used to believe in gods or I don't know, not even gods, but things like witchcraft. So your names are more of witchcraft. I used to have one funny lecturer in high school, teacher. He used to be like, was your father an ATS? Hey? Was he those African witches? You know those things?
Oh my God.
I'm like, but what are you even talking about? So I gave myself a nickname when I was in P7 back, which was English, just because I was tired. Every time when they're reading the rota, Tomosime, Nyamuru, who is this? Panage, are you a Christian? Are you a what? And the thing is to bother me. When I got older, I was like, but what's the point? Because for me, I know that I've gotten this gift, and I really do love it. I would want on it, of course.
We're listening to the name right now.
Yeah.
Nyamurungyi.
See, and Tumusime is Christian.
The most Christian name ever.
Tumusime is Christian.
Nyamurungyi in my Catholic church is Nyamurungyi is, it could be the beautiful one, the most beautiful one, but also God, because he's good to us.
Right?
Tumusime Nyamurungyi, we thank him, the good one.
You see? And yet, for some reason, you always think
Rita,
an English name.
Rita mean?
What does Rita mean? Okay, how is Rita? Is it Christian? No, but even now, this is just from identity.
Yeah.
That's just identity. To a point that people feel like when everything that's associated with your blackness is
bad and evil.
Now, that's even just one thing. Now you talked about food. Like our food that's African food, people for some reason think that African food and then it's African. It's for some reason. Now you see when people are like in the Black American countries or whatnot, the European countries, they have the highest rates of lifestyle diseases.
Yeah.
More than half the population is having like all these conditions that are due to poor lifestyle conditions. And it's simply because, first of all, the way they have the fast life, like the life of we want things to be done quick, we always have busy and whatnot, but also
everything is fast and everyone's trying to make money.
Everyone, right? But also organic food is very expensive. It's for the rich, right?
Yeah.
And it for us,
organic food is for the poor.
Yeah, but then somehow now, because now you're in your poverty, or because you're there, you now begin feeling like this food, when I eat it, I'm a poor person. And I'm just like, but you guys, I feel like we don't even know ourselves.
Now that is where we come in and say maybe schools could do better. Things like how to sustain yourself could do better when they are doing food and nutrition. Tell someone why they are using butter to start with. Tell someone why they are adding so much cream to make the food super creamy and taste a certain way. Tell someone why they are doing this, and also tell them how this food,
Very true.
because why do we eat daily? There has to be a reason why we eat daily,
True.
why we sleep daily, why we breathe involuntarily. There has to be a reason.
Very true.
So how does the body work to make sure you don't have to think about breathing?
Very
to make sure you don't have to think about, oh, that's a person, that's a lion. Like, you don't have to. But there are all these, nerves working tirelessly in like microseconds to identify an object.
Very true.
And I am 30. Okay, I make 30 in August. But I also believe that my first birthday happens when I'm already 1. So now I'm already 30. And I'll be starting 31 in August. My eyes, I'm short-sighted. Why? Why am I short-sighted? My grandmother, who's 95, can see me from the road and say, hey, they want to read. For her, she can see me. Me, I'm 30. I cannot even identify my child from across the road.
Auntie Mwasomanyu.
Oh, what is that? That thing, by the way, still bothers me. I am an online, not a junkie, but I consume a lot of content and I see a lot of people teaching. And it bothers me most of the times that most of the cool things are not ours. I always tell the people I teach in my classes that there's a reason why Caucasians can survive on bread sandwich and why Africans can survive on potatoes.
Very true.
Like, for us, there's a reason why we have the greens and vegetables and everything, and our weather goes all year round, and theirs can't. They can survive on canned food. Their bodies are built to do that and survive in that way, but ours are not. But no, a grilled cheese is the best choice for a black kid, because, man, it's cheesy and it's cool.
It's cool.
And, yeah. So let me ask also, would you consider leaving the field if it doesn't change? Because people are not doing any effort. You're not doing any effort. People are not putting in any work.
What? What do you mean that we're not doing anything, Rita? What does that even mean?
Instead of treating us, people are giving us supplements.
Oh my
Anyway,
God.
will you consider moving here so that we can change the narrative?
No, first of all,
Speak, I can save your seat.
but I'm already trying to change the narrative here. But
anyways, yeah.
I don't think that I can see myself leaving medicine. Maybe I know, first of all, I am those doctors who are actually clinicians. You know how, like, most times you find doctors who be like, okay, I've been doing practice, but eventually they leave practice, or maybe they leave clinical medicine, and they go into, like, public health, epidemiology, different things. But for me, I know for a fact that I am a clinician. Only that, I know that I wouldn't do it for very long. Also, I think the only reason why I would want to, I don't know how to call it, but I don't think that, I know I would be here I'm not a doctor that will practice for more than 10 years in the medicine. At least I know that for a fact. I'll probably specialize and narrow it down of what it is that I deal with. And I'll probably be also those doctors who'll be like, I'm going to see this particular number of patients in a year. I'm not going to go beyond that just because I know the burnout. You know, when you're doing like this medicine that we're doing the first time, it's like every level that you keep on moving on is like, so when you're in medical school, you feel like, Banange, life is just, it's the worst, When you leave medical school, you go to internship. Internship is like you're literally a donkey. Your life, I don't even know, by the way, they struggle to pay interns because that is the cheapest labor. Because as an intern, you're doing everything. And for us in Uganda, like outside countries, you don't necessarily practice as general practitioners. Actually, even GPs outside countries, you have to get a master's in general practice. Which I'm just like, why would they get a master's in general practice? Anyway, but the whole point is, so now you eventually do that, and now as a general practitioner, you do everything. The surgeon is not there, they call you. the obs guy is not there, they call you. So
Oh,
you come from
Munego
delivering a
Wasomanya.
mother, you go to amputate a knee, you come to a coughing child. So eventually the burnout becomes a lot. And most people specialize just so that they're like, mm-mm.
Yeah.
But I know for a fact that I am able to, for me, I feel like that this social media thing is my, I don't want to say, if I say fun thing, it will sound so sad.
No, it's not. Social media was actually made to be fun.
No, I mean for me,
Eh.
like it's a thing that I'm doing on the, like not on the side, but I do it because I actually like teaching people. Also because you know how I always talk about those stories in my stories.
Yeah.
My stories, like how I talk about people and the people, the thing, like how you're talking about how people, they come to you, they have like, maybe say this person has a lot of suffering, you can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
And for me, I meet people who have like children, I'm just like, this person would have been very much saved by if they knew. Like,
Yeah,
if they only
if
knew.
they knew.
If they knew. Because I know one time a woman whose child died, I don't want to say she killed her child, but her child died in her hands because she didn't know. And she was in the village that side. Her mother and mother-in-law are telling her to what, you know those things they do? They call it Okshandaga.
Okshandag.
That Okshandaga. So they put on that child multiple Okshandaga cuts everywhere. They are putting traditional healing medicine and whatnot. Long story short, by the time the girl came, imagine you receive a 3-year-old in heart failure. And the girl, like a month
What?
after I met her, she died. I don't know why that story just made me feel like I am going to do health education. I don't know how.
I have also a case that actually was my turning point. It was a punishment. I escaped from school and got expelled. And when I came back, my punishment was to pray for patients and prisoners. So every Sabbath,
Why is that a punishment?
because I never went to church on Sabbath, I used to be working, hustling somewhere outside. So they were like, well, you don't want to be in church. So your punishment is early in the morning, before ward rounds, you go and pray for patients on ward. On Sabbath, early in the morning, you get in the van and go to the prisons. So I got this patient, Duncan, rest in peace. He had skin cancer. He had a distended testis, something like that. And he was STIP, so he had been dropped at the hospital. No one to take care of him. I think he was gotten from the prisons somewhere in the far west. And when I came on the ward, the nurse on duty, sister, told me, hey, Oriya Hendeme. Okay, there is someone on general ward.
To go and pray
like, you know those beds, they just dump people who are useless? Yeah, that's where Duncan was. And then given the fact that he was not moving, he had no attendant, even the nurses be like, so I went to the MD and, tried to talk to him to see that Duncan gets the surgery and we can get the money. By the way, my audacity. Anyways, he accepted and I hoped it would be done before Sabbath, but it wasn't. And I remember on Sunday waking up and going, after all we had done for Duncan, because I had even recruited a whole team now, the other nurses from my class would come, dress him, change his beddings and wash him and buy him food. He was now in a good condition. I can say he passed a happy guy. But I came back on Sunday morning and they told me, the nurses who used to be like making fun of my punishment and Duncan said, guess it's the end of the road for you now. And I do not know why Duncan hurt me so bad. And I silently said, this is the last time. This is the last time I'm watching a patient pass because I cannot give them money to probably go to another hospital or get the attention they need in that time. And I think the universe actually had me now looking at it. I think I was like, yeah, you need to go and make money and come back and give charity. For now, you're also a charity candidate. So go there and hustle. And yeah, looking at those stories, it makes me so sad. Even now, when I watch the medical field in Kampala, it makes me sad. If you don't have money here, somehow you don't even have a chance. But yeah, we keep on trying. If you want to move, you're welcome. If you don't want to move, we enjoy what you're doing. You're doing, teaching people from a point of professionalism. And yeah.
No, but I get what you mean. I feel like we used to have those cases. When you talk about Duncan, I think I had my own Duncan. I know that mine didn't get me out of the field, but mine I was in Fort at the referral hospital at the time. At that time I was a student, so I was studying, and this man, I had never seen a very bad case of, that's when I began to fear pancreatic cancer. Like there's cancers that pain, but
Yeah.
that cancer pains. Like as in, there's when you just see your body degenerating and it's going, but there's when it's actually in pain. Like someone who wakes up screaming. So at that time, the government would be able to avail to us some drugs that were like morphine, which we could be able to give, but it was the only thing. Also, he was a refugee.
Yeah.
Also, he would speak, I think it was Swahili or some other language from either it was Kenya, but like deep Kenya, those ends. So also now there's language barrier. You are a refugee. No one
You're in
knows you.
pain.
You're in pain. You don't have clothes. You have no food. You're in a government hospital. He was exactly. He was like on an island. So we began, would be there, and then sometimes our lecturers would be like, why don't you guys collect money or whatnot? So you collect money. But you collect money today. Also, there's a next person also. Because when you work in those places, people are, that's where you see true pain. As in true levels of poverty. You can be crying.
Also, I don't like undressing. That's also, that should be added on. That is not why I left.
That one just makes your life hard. That's why the surgical ward is just complicated. But the truth is, like, there's when you see people and you're like, for sure, I have no right to complain in this life. And healthcare, I feel like it really gives you that of you have a cloth over your back, you have food. Someone, like from the bottom of their heart, someone will die because they can't afford 2,000 to buy a cannula.
Yeah.
And they truly properly die, by the way. So I had that patient, and when you see him, but I think where the problem comes in is that when you're in healthcare, the pain you see, the amount of pain you see, either breaks you, or it makes
builds,
you.
Yeah.
So some people you find some people end up becoming much softer. Like you become more compassionate, you're much kinder. But then just know that you will get very many bullets, like all the time. Because now I used to have this habit of getting very attached to my patients. Like I would have the habit, I remember sometimes I used to have the habit of, like I'll get attached to a patient. Sometime I had a patient who was actually an alcohol addict. That's why I actually talk about alcohol a lot. This man, alcohol was eating up his liver, every organ and that. But he's an actual addict. As in, there's nothing he can do about it. This thing is like the oxygen that he, inhales. The same way, people look down on addicts as if, but everyone is addicted to something, And this gentleman, I remember, I would be so invested in terms of like, I'm not even eating, but I'm there buying like a watermelon,
for him,
pineapples in the evening. I'm buying for, like you're in the village, you haven't got something to eat. Then I go and I begin cooking, like I would cook like maybe takuri and what. I see myself
and
carrying them.
Him.
No, I'm telling you, now when the man got very unwell and worse, this would genuinely also affect me because of how much I have also invested myself. Now you also find you have other patients, like 3 others, who you have also invested in. Kati, you find one time they're calling you in, like sometimes they're calling you like it's 5, let me say you're on night duty, on call, and they call you like at 3 a.m. to do a resuscitation. You come doing CPR for a patient who you've been invested in like that.
Yeah.
The person dies, and then they're telling you now, call it in time of death and whatnot. And they're like, hey, doctor, there's a patient now here of like cough and flu has just come. As in just switch up,
move on.
So it makes, I think that's why sometimes people say that like people in healthcare, especially doctors, are wicked. I think
and midwives.
Yeah, but all nurses generally, but midwives have a certain level of
midwives are like professional. By the way, midwives.
The midwives have true. I don't know, man.
You sit down and wonder who had this one.
The woman will abuse you something, and you're like, man, what's up?
But I understand midwives. I really do.
Why?
As a mom of 2 on SVD, non-medicated labor, I feel like midwives are doing a good job.
Being harsh.
A good job. Because let me tell you, the labor of the pain of labor is not talked about in any book.
Cannot be explained.
Like no one explains the pain of labor properly. So when you go in green, chances are very high you're going to do something small and you're going to lose a life or 2. So if the midwives are like, oh, soft parenting, gentle parenting, and yeah, we understand what you're going through. We don't understand, my babes. You're not the first person. Sit down and push that child. I understand the midwives may have no problem with them. If you want to slap people with faucets, go on ahead. That's your job. You're doing a good job. So, Doc, as we are closing, I want you to tell us something. Three things people don't know about you. I don't know mine, but yeah.
I feel like I have I used to have a very interesting life, and now I feel like my life is very boring. I don't want to say
Why?
boring, but in terms of, my life is extremely introverted. I just truly have no interest in activities that are, I don't know what it is, but I used to have these things of like be the life of the party. By the way, but I don't know, by the way, people, medical school is hard, eh? But one thing you need to know is that doctors can party. Like, you'd have this group of people who are just mad people, mad.
Yeah.
So you'd be here, you're like, you know what, you guys, we're going to suffer at once, but as soon as the papers are done like
done.
this, people would just go and you're like, what's happening? Like, you guys.
Mwalididawa.
So we used to have like this like really, really wild like type. I feel like I just got tired. So now my life is just like homeschool and like that. Another thing is this social media thing. I feel like whenever people recognize me, I'd be like, why are you recognizing me?
But you were putting your face there.
I don't know. I just feel like, this one time, sometimes I'm like when I'm at work, these patients, sometimes I would be seeing like some patients who would come in, then they begin murmuring. You know how you see people like looking at you and they're murmuring. Then they start looking at you and they're like, hey, she's the one. Then as you're passing, someone is like, she's the one. She's the one. And I feel
she's beautiful in
I
real
feel,
life.
I feel like, but why don't you just come to me and say hi? Why are you? And even again pointing them out.
Hey, man, that's you. Why didn't you introduce yourself? And you're like, hi guys, I'm the one from TikTok.
No, oh my God, that is so strange. I feel like I can't, but I just find I find that very disturbing. I don't know. And sometimes I feel like but now I'm starting to handle it because sometimes I go on social media and I read comments. I'm like, but truly, if you decide to put something out there, expect
Everything.
but even if you're doing there's this chick called Nara Smith. You've seen this Nara Smith thing?
Oh, Nara.
Nara Smith is literally just a happy pregnant woman with her husband.
Living her best
Living
trad
her life and cooking for her children. And then people begin, Atiwa, she's overdoing what?
Now, that's the
Everybody's
thing. We are not going to go into psychology. But when you look at it, it's like these people are projecting. For someone who only survives on sandwich, they cannot comprehend that someone made mozzarella from scratch for a grilled cheese. Like, we understand.
No, but I just feel like sometimes when I look at people, I'm like, but one thing? I feel like learning to look at, like, just know that one thing my mom always says, when you feel like someone is not, like you feel like what you're telling someone, they are failing to understand it, just always remember 6 and 9.
Yeah.
Like for you where you're standing, you're seeing it's a 6. And it's a very clear 6. And where they're standing, they're seeing it's a 9. And really, there's nothing you're going to tell them. If I come and tell you something, and Richard, there is nothing, unless I am God, of which even God gave us free will for that reason, so that we are not robotic. So I feel like people have opinions, and so all the time I'm amazed, like, someone can think like this.
Can type this, yeah.
Yeah, anyway, so the things. I think I'm just a very... Social media is just interesting, but I find it weird when people recognize me to this day. I'm like, hey, Manange, why?
Good job.
So you tell us things that people don't know about you. But I feel like the things I know them. I feel like the things you don't put there, I see them.
Yeah, there are people who can see beyond the humor. The people who can see beyond my humor, they know that I am actually not hard to deal with. I am a soft person who requires that you handle me with care and have sense at that. So yeah, most people think I'm really hard to work with. I come off tough and rough. But to me, I feel like those who know me, I'm a soft person, unless you take long to understand. That's where the problem is. The other thing is...
What do you mean by take long to understand, Rita?
No, I am not... why you are making me repeat the same thing 2 times? What was happening the first time we talked about it?
No, but that's the thing. Actually, that's another thing that for me, I feel like I wouldn't make a good teacher. Although I teach on social media, I would make a very bad teacher.
No, I teach well, but also my students always have my eye of... When we were teaching these things, what was happening? But it makes me so mad. Now that I'm old and there's all this information going around about being toxic and the hard one, now I hold my things inside. But otherwise I would be asking, are you stupid? Yeah? But now I hold it back and then maybe I can help you, or maybe I can just keep quiet and continue going if it's too much for me to wrap my head around. And then the other thing is that I'm not as social as I actually am. What
do you mean by social as you are?
When I'm in a group of people, I am chatty. I will just crack jokes about anything, and someone can be mistaken to think I'm friendly. Like I'm seeing, like I'm that person, you can just make friends with casually, make calls. Like you're just somewhere seated and you're like, oh, let me call the cooking nurse and say hi. Hi.
I can't believe you've just
If-
said, you'll see
okay.
me making jokes, but I'm not friendly.
Like
why
I'm
do
not,
you say
okay,
that?
I'm not so social. I'm a homebody. Give me my Wi-Fi. Leave me in my house. Give me food. Stock the fridge. You people can go outside, be adventurous. I am okay watching you on the screen. I don't know if it's because I did not maybe afford moving, but even if I did move, I prefer to still stay. Once I leave the group, leave me. Leave me to just breathe in, decompress, and just be myself. So I may come off as social, but I am not exactly so social. And yeah, maybe the other thing people don't know is what? That I love chicken. They know that one.
Everyone knows.
Everyone knows that I love
Everyone who
chicken.
watches.
And also people know that I'm not rich because I work every day. So so yeah, maybe those other things. I don't know. Yesterday someone asked me, oh, by the way, are you married? Yes. Yes. I know you wrote this one. Yes.
She's very married.
Just in
highly
case
married.
someone
Is
doesn't
confused.
know. But yeah, I think that like those are all the things. I tell all my stories online. Yeah, I think people know most of the things about me.
I feel
Is
like
there
the way
anything?
I feel like the way you be talking your stories on social media really would.
Is there
make
anything
someone
people don't
feel
know
like
about me?
that.
Like what? Sina Center.
But Rita, you're rich.
Amen.
First of all, Rita, I feel like you're those people who have taken Ugandan social media by storm.
How?
I don't know, you're just
But
like
you
one
know
of
the
the
Ugandan
biggest
social
content
media
creators.
scene is like bana bakulimba.
No, but at least one thing for a fact is that if social media in Uganda is generally not yet, because
Yeah.
there is people who do social media.
If you're
and
not
someone
enterprising
has,
outside.
exactly. But in Uganda, it's not really yet, and I feel like you're those people who have truly reached a certain good level. So
Yeah.
that's a good thing. I think it's a very good thing.
It's a good starting point, but you see the thing is I'm not good with money or investment or stuff. But you see, when you have, let's say, 10 million now and you buy land, you don't start counting yourself rich until that land appreciates.
Of course.
So what we are doing right now is we are on the right track. We
Yeah.
are good. On the way to wealth or something, wherever. If Zuckerberg doesn't wake up and he's like, I am taking a break. Yeah? But if you're not enterprising outside, and business is not simple, it's not that easy. Like
how
the bills of this Kampala are always piling up. You have
it's
children,
too
you have a
much.
life. You can afford your life, but there's that wealth you want to accumulate and have investments and just sit down and you're like, it's okay. I have a cough. Let me go to the most expensive clinic here and they will charge me 150 for consultation, 300K for antihistamines, and I'm good. Like, I have a cough. Man,
By the way, let me
But
tell
yeah.
you something about that. I feel like, one thing is for a fact, I have because I have seen a lot of pain among like people generally. And I always speak from the healthcare because I feel like from healthcare we always meet people at their most vulnerable
Yeah.
state. Or you meet people at their like either their most vulnerable or their really best states. Like you will generally find people will come to you, someone will comfortably go to a facility and let me say, for example, you go to like a government facility. Like I said, someone can't even afford a cannula. This is a woman that's in labor.
Yeah.
And you wonder, okay, this person who was her partner, even her herself, for 9 months, you didn't say, okay, maybe you put aside over it's like a 1K or something. People are in deep
People.
poverty. Then you go to another facility, and I kid you not.
There's someone treating flu for $500.
That one, you see, okay, that one is just an annoying person. Okay, though, but someone will go to the labor room and they'll, someone who really the kid is a true planned kid. But I don't think I've seen planned kids. Like the person will go into labor and she's having a normal delivery and whatnot, and they comfortably will pay, like, let me say, 10 million. And I mean comfortably. And one thing is people are haters for no reason. Because me, I feel like, even if it were you would do it just because you're poor and also in your poverty.
Okubye nnyo.
Nada kyekituufu.
Okubye kutta.
Kyekituufu. No, but the truth is, you see, people always be hating when people are why would you spend that amount of
Musawa
money?
kozati.
Anada. Why would you spend that amount of money? Let me tell you, but one thing I believe for a fact is that if you can afford luxury, by all means, pay for it. And give it to yourself. Because life schedules problems. If you can schedule for yourself peace and good ways of life, just do. Because when people are suffering and you can't help everyone. So I always look and I'm like, man, like there is suffering in this world. But no longer saying,
but there's also good life somewhere.
Exactly. And there are people who are actually going through a really good time.
And tetubainako buzibu.
But you
don't have any problem.
But I feel like Ugandans have problems with everyone.
No, not Uganda. It's the keyboards. It's the keyboards and understanding of things. Now, see, if someone who... Do you ever have a friend? I don't have those ones. But like friends who you'll tell you don't have money. And tomorrow, say, for example, you buy a camera.
And they begin to call him
of, say, 8 million. And someone say... Dr. Tinka Mushabi mtwalo makumiaga. And she refused to give me 300K. And the next week, she was on a trip to Maldives. That girl is a witch. But like, see, this person has worked, has saved for their camera. This 300 is going to make 7 million. And they'll add another 100 and another 100 and another 100. So when you come off as Ugandans, twagalanyo kolima, it's understandable from all of us's level of, of problems.
Very true.
Yeah, there are people who 10 million is like 2K. There are people stuck on the ward where I used to go with a bill of 40K, no more delivery. Do you know how painful a cannula is? Cannula, and it stays on the arm because you can't leave that hospital with that cannula.
Very true.
And they are scared if they remove it. Also, I feel like our ignorance is killing us too much. I will have removed it by the time you're done administering. But anyways,
super opinion that she's going to bleed out.
Yeah, that's where the problem is, ignorance and fear. And I understand. I totally understand. But also conditions. It's the fear. That's the fear. When I talk about things like treating flu for like 100,000, to me it doesn't make sense because this is a reaction I'm having. Unless it's infectious and continuously going on for years or months, then I can go and seek medical attention and I can willingly pay that much money. But it's just a bag and all I need maybe are antihistamines because these are viral infections. Yeah. So why am I buying syrups and syrups and syrups of Nyende Germany? I want the one for UK. We don't even the Indians are the ones making them and putting there Denmark. But I understand from my point of view, it's not hating when people are paying more for comfort. My point of view is I cannot afford comfort, but also I understand what I'm dealing with. So I don't have to like go an extra mile. And both my children, I've delivered them for 260,000. 260, 230. The first one, 130. The second one, 100K. Like, no one can comprehend that in this time and era. And they are all alphas. So it's not I gave birth how many years ago. But it's because I understand what is happening. But some people would get labor pains. Ngaka with them. They are scared. They may die. They may pass on. This is too much for them to, take on. Let's have a Caesar. I'm dying. I understand. From everyone's point of view, you can't be scared. You will be broke. You have, the money, the comfort, and you don't want to maybe understand how things work. Let the ones who understand go through the pain. Ashraf says, I'm telling you
that.
And I also understand, like, from now this social media era, I actually got to a point of liberation last year. Like, back in the years, I would be there. I'm like, why? Why are you doing that? Like, I would also be questioning. Then things started getting easy-ish, and I understood that where I pay 50K, another person may not. Where I say, another person is bargaining for 500 shillings for the same distance. So it's understandable. If you're in the hospital, please, we are begging you guys, be as generous and kind to these people because they don't know. That's the thing, they don't know.
And I really believe so much in giving. One thing is I believe in when you have it, enjoy your life.
Yeah.
Like, really enjoy your life. Sometimes were always like every time. Do you know one time the other day I was going home from work, and so I saw these border guys. There was a game. I think it was that Arsenal game, the recent game. So I saw these border guys like gathered on some shop which has like a TV there. When I'm parking the border, and they're all just watching. Yeah? So I first looked. Now the first thing that came to my mind was, why are these guys wasting time here? Your friends are working for you here. Another kid, it's like, you know how you have questions in your conversation in your own mind. Sometimes something else came to me. Where should they be? Now you want them to be working. Okay, the ones who are working, when they're working yesterday, and they're working tomorrow. If we say that, okay, now this one gets an accident when they are working. They got an accident when they were literally doing what they do every day, struggling for the same thing, for the what? And this person here maybe got an accident from the bar where they were enjoying and having a good time. And I think that so many times as human beings, we take long to, like, we don't take time to sit back and enjoy life. Just sit and feel the air. Every time it's like you're on the phone or you're running here, you're running for money, you're running for... Like, we literally don't take time to just sit and reflect. I believe so much that if God has blessed you, enjoy your life, but bless others. If God has, like, raised you, lift others. In the meantime, when all these things come, if you can afford to go to a place, and you say you want to go to travel go to whichever other country for a month, banange do. Because time will come when you can't.
Even the Bible says it. Somewhere they say, now you have the liberty to do anything and go wherever you want.
Yeah.
But the time will come and you will stretch your arms, they'll wrap you in things you don't like, and they'll take you where you don't want. Where you don't want to go. But you have to go, the time will have come.
Yeah.
I understand from that perspective. But also, my babes, this one is now from me, your J. I want you to give charity from a point of fullness. Yeah? Don't get 100K, and now instead of planning on multiplying this one, you give it out. It's understandable, it's okay, but I don't want you to be brainwashed and staying in the same loop over and over again because you have to keep giving and depriving of yourself. You remember in the Bible also these guys, God gave talents.
Yeah,
the one kept it, the ones who kept them, the ones who multiplied, the ones who like really multiplied. God gave them more. Get 100K, start a business. No, that you share the profit, not the capital.
It's true.
Yeah? So even when you want to go outside, your friends are going to Diani, for example. They are spending 750. You don't have rent, and you also want to go with them to fit in. Now all your 750 have collected it, boom, to Diani. You're paying someone else. Those people are not kind enough to say, oh no, you don't have, let us not take your money for us, we're already rich. They are going to take that money because they know the use of it, except you. So please give from a cup that is overflowing. God has blessed you, but first sit down and understand, what has he given me? What is required of me to make sure I please God back by multiplying this? Yeah? Not going back to him after he gave you 1 million, and then you're like, "Kati God, nkomyewo kuve much sonanti yenzi. Wendi wanu katinera nkwatirayo, eh?" Like, no, by the way, no. Even if you put it in human perspective. Yeah? When God was creating, he said, let us create someone like us. Which means we are what?
We are little gods as well.
Very good. So you cannot just be fooling. Even when you go to a human being, they give you 50K today. You have a problem of electricity and water and everything. You go and have CJs. Later on, you're like, hey, by the way, I have water. How much is the water bill? 20K. But I gave you 50K yesterday. Like, but me, I wanted chicken. Hey, that was the most important thing to you. Let us go on another person now. You get?
I get you.
But the answer what we is charity. We are not candidates of charity ourselves. You was welcome. Thank you. Final remarks from me is all of us in our capacity, we can learn as more as there is to learn, and we can do more for society. We can share knowledge and not try to, cheat our way by lying and concealing information that would have been helpful from the people who would, get it. And in a world where you can be anything, just be anything. Yeah. Not just be kind, please. It costs nothing being kind. It also costs nothing being whatever you want to be. So you choose, my babes, you choose what you want to be. stand by it. If it's hurting other people and they retaliate and slap you, it's on you. You caused it to yourself. But otherwise, all love, rukunde gumeho, and be kind.
I don't know. For me, my closing remarks would be, like you said, we can literally be anything. Like, you can be anything. Sometimes I'm always like, you know that thing where they say, there's some, I feel like, the statements that are actually the truest are the most cliche statements.
Yeah.
When someone says that you can literally do anything, do you know that you can literally do anything? Rita, if you get up today and say, Ati, now I'm going to become the president of this country.
You become delusional, they beat you, but you tell the world that you're the president. Delusions of grandeur.
No, but the truth is you can literally be anything that you set your mind to be. And that's one thing that I have relieved. I feel like I'm those people who, I fear things like social media and presence and people. I don't fear people knowing me, like, those things. But I began doing this thing and I'm here. And now I'd be like, oh, well, okay, I'm now doing this.
Yeah.
And I'm in full-time clinical practice. And I don't know, we're not
and
really
you're doing a
many
good job.
yet. Yeah, I think so. And I find it very interesting. And for me, I still believe in if you can be anything, if you can do anything, be kind. Truly, I believe in kindness and I believe in giving. But of course, I believe in having wisdom. Read the things for yourself and grow your mind. Learn.
Yeah, expand. Don't be told what to do all the time.
Yeah, learn every day. Just open yourself to learning every day. I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah. So Doc says you people be kind. I say be anything. That was it from all of us at The Cooking Nurse and Dr. T.Nyamurungyi, and we'll be seeing you soon in maybe other future videos if we ever make any. And in case she changes her mind, she'll come and let us know. But for now, bye.
Bye-bye.